It is finally here. The long-awaited hJune Base 6.0 is stronger, cheaper, and more compact than ever. With a new revolutionary method of foundation stacking, Nichols and I came up with the best double bunker in the game yet. Before I reveal it to the world though, I want to bring it back to where it all started. September 28, 2016, my first design on YouTube. My whole thought process at the time was to make as many layers as possible to the TC. 14 stone walls, which is 56 rockets. The meta was separated loot rooms with a lot of wall stacking, and it meant easily hundreds of rockets to conquer them. Fast forward to April 11th, 2017, my triple tower bridge base design. With 5 main cupboards in each tower 1.5 floors apart, again separated loot rooms, the cost to get every TC in every base made this design infinitely stronger. It was easily 300 plus rockets to get anywhere, and my friends even managed to wall off the entirety of Dome. Then, building was changed forever. A lot of exploits were gone and upkeep was introduced. A lot of the crucial building items in Rust was also gated behind BPs at this time. Big builds were no longer possible nor worth it. My building philosophy changed from having a giant base with multiple loot rooms to having a base as compact as possible with one singular loot room that was accessible to anyone since it was cheap, compact, and required no blueprints. Whether or not someone knew the base design, they had to use the minimum amount of rockets to get my loot. At this time, wall stacking methods were still viable. Hence, the first hJune base was born. January 12th, 2018. Even our trusted wall stacking was gone at this point. People evacuated to emergency 2x2s and got raided daily with only 4 rockets. hJune Base 2.0 was 16 rockets, 30,000 stone, 15,000 metal to make with no blueprints. Pretty expensive for how vulnerable it was in today's standards. Again, to May 14th, 2018. Vaulting your loot room is now meta. hJune Base 3.0, the Dank Tank. 20,000 stone, 15,000 metal, 100 high quality for 24 rockets with no BPs. September 20th, 2018. I loved using the vaults, but how can I make it better? 2 vaults. I experimented with having 2 vaults in one base and came up with hJune Base 4.0, Vault Squared. 10,000 stone, 30,000 metal, and 400 high qual for 40 rockets with no blueprints. 72 hours of upkeep. The only problem was, there was an exploit with the base which made the vault useless. I was told the exploit will never get fixed. Although disappointed, I created the hJune Base 5.0 on November 23rd, 2018, the Hibernator. This was my best base design yet. It was the strongest I've ever made it and the cheapest. It was 40 rockets, had a total of 3 bunkers in one base, and it was only 25,000 metal and 150 high qual with no blueprints. As fate would have it though, there was another exploit that I had no control over with this base too. The stability in which the double bunker revolved around would randomly change its values when the server restarted. It never happened to me personally, but a lot of people have reported to happen, so I had to scrap the entire design. I needed something that will work 100% of the time. So here we are, the hJune Base 6.0. There are only 3 specific areas you can build this base in. A relatively flat area with a bit of a dip on the ground, an ice lake, and a super flat beach. Don't worry though, I never had any trouble finding a spot for this base in vanilla. I usually find a spot within running around for 3 minutes. To start out, the whole base is based around this double bunker design. Unlike my previous one, it uses squares, not triangles for this bunker. Nichols and I essentially found the method to stack 3 foundations in one. This is especially important because the bunker works by manipulating the stability of the building blocks, and foundations don't give any additional stability to the walls and floors surrounding it. Before you upgrade anything, you need to make sure you can fit every foundation in its right spot. If you can make this 4x3 layout, you can build a base here. However, for the sake of convenience, you'll want to build a few more blocks on each side with twig. You need these triangle foundations here as it is needed to build the foundation steps into the square foundation. Sometimes the terrain isn't always in your favor. The terrain is too high for me to place a triangle foundation here. There is a way to do the stacking trick a bit more compact in case of terrain like this. Now that you know you can build a base here, you want to pick one side to replace with a wall plus foundation stair. This wall provides just the right amount of stability to your two floors, where if we break this bottom half wall, both square floors would break, essentially creating a double bunker. After that, every other side besides where you place the wall, we want to put one square and one triangle out to stack foundation steps underneath our foundations. In the vault where it opens up, you actually want to put two foundation steps instead of just one. The reason being, it's cheaper and more deceptive to do it this way. Upgrading the 3 square foundations above would be 75 HQM, opposed to upgrading the 3 foundation steps to HQM would only be 39. It still covers your vault even if the top part is broken, and having the foundation above only sheet metal makes it more deceptive to raiders. You actually don't need to upgrade the floor above the wall to HQM, just leave it sheet metal. If you just add this top part here, your vault is now complete. Your base is already 30 rockets to raid from every angle. A lot of people think HQM bunkers are 16 rockets. It's actually 15 rockets to blow through armored. Unlike my other base, you actually don't need to upgrade anything to armored beforehand. You can start this base entirely out of stone and upgrade the stairs to HQM later, as it pokes out of the foundation. Always remember to upgrade the bottommost foundations first, because if you upgrade the top first, you might not be able to upgrade the bottom ones later. Here is an example of what your loot room and vault should look like. You can fit a lot more storage and an extra sleeping bag compared to my previous base. You should actually leave your vault closed most of the time and give the 2 bags to your most active players. I would recommend putting your raw components, sulfur, GP and the likes in the vault, while you leave stuff to defend your base upstairs. While you're online during the day, you can close it as sheet metal, and when you log off, you can make it HQM. You want to make the half wall wood, as they can use an instant rocket to destroy the half wall in one shot if it was twig. On the longer side of the base, you want to create a triangle foundation. This is your way up. Your foundations are done and you have a 30 rocket bunker in the middle of your base. To make it truly 54 rockets, you just need to add 3 layers of sheet metal from the side and from the top. There's honestly a lot of different ways you can do this, so you don't have to exactly follow what I do. I'm just showing the most efficient way of making this base 54 rockets. Just like my previous base, we'll have a third semi-bunker using roofs. This makes it so that if they go through the doors, it will be 8 sheet metal doors, 2 sheet metal roofs, and 2 HQM walls, which is 54 rockets. You can make a simple entrance to the shop fronts here. You also want to add these foundations on the corners to make sure it's 54 rockets if they blow through the foundations as well. Once you're done, you now have a base that is 54 rockets from every angle: foundations, walls, floors, ceiling, or any combination of them. Even if they know exactly what your base looks like inside, they are forced to use 3 lines of rockets on your base just for the vaults, as long as you close them properly. It fits around 3 days of upkeep, which is plenty for casual or hardcore players. Foundation steps are also very useful for making anti-door camp entrances. Here is an example. You can also make it very stressful for the raiders to get all the loot in your base by making tedious loot rooms all around. If you have the BPs, you can use a lot of items to make this base a lot more stronger online. You can also add exterior cupboards that actually connect your base in all sorts of ways. You can completely envelop your base, or you can even use them as outer peek downs, which I'll showcase on a recent clan base I made. These outer cupboards are good because if they manage to get the TC inside your vault and destroy it, the outer ones will take over and the raiders won't ever truly get control over your base. You can customize this base however you wish. You can make this a simple 40 rocket base, which is something like 20,000 metal and 150 high qual to make with this design. Another great usage of this bunker is to incorporate it into your 2x2 or 3x3 designs. It fits in seamlessly without sacrificing space and effectively makes any design 30 rockets stronger than its counterpart. Here is a very early prototype of a clan base I made a month ago. I made a lot more improvements over the month, but you can get the basic concept here. There are inner peek downs in case they blow in, outer peek downs, 1 main base, 4 outer towers. You have so many angles in which to shoot the raiders that might be in your compound, inside your base, in your window floor, or on your roof. Sadly, in the few wipes I did make this base, no one tried raiding this completed base online. So I can't really tell you firsthand how it would be like. But I promise you, if you have gear sets ready and you have people on in this base, it would be very hard to take any kind of control in this base. If you don't have any vaults closed, your base is not very strong if you only built it how I showed in the video. Use my vault and make it your own. Build what you need, whether that be making it stronger by adding garage doors, or making it cheaper by adding less honeycomb. Add your own window floors, extra loot rooms, outer cupboards, compounds, and bedrooms. When defending your base against raiders, the element of surprise is your biggest defense. While it does make my EPing a little bit bigger when I do see hJune bases in the wild, it's best to disguise it so the raiders don't know what to expect. That's it. I've worked on this concept with my friend Nichols. I've known him for years now and he always had insane designs no matter what year it was. He was thinking of making videos soon on his YouTube channel, so go subscribe to him and tell him to start making the Rust YouTube building scene exciting again. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.